this lifetime.
That's a long time. I don't think I've done
It is.
anything for 6 years straight. This might be the biggest commitment I've ever had. I don't want to say commitment.
Glory.
Is it a commitment? I would say it is, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, oh yeah. It has to do with the win-win factor. I want you to win. We absolutely want the audience to win. We want this fancy word that I had to learn because I'm from the South. I had to learn how to pronounce it, like it took me a while. Reciprocity. We want to be able to make sure that all the hard work that we do and all the time that we give you, we ties to you, Joe, and all the equipment and his hosting abilities and running the network and all of that. Me, 4 decades of doing the metaphysical star talking thing, we are giving to you with the intention of a blessing way that you can tune into it almost for free with your internet service and what you pay for internet, blah, 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 your phone or whatever subscriptions.
The
But
phone stuff,
it's
too.
a
Yeah.
voice. It's a voice. It's a voice, and it's words that can have life for you because we care. And the reciprocity or the mutual win has to do with the audience, whether we ever hear it or know it specifically or not. That if you're helped in the night, if you're helped the next day or the next month with some type of comfort and soft moments on your trail of this compass and this navigation of our earth walk, this is Taurus. So this is the time that we look at, we are spirit, we came from spirit, we are one with spirit. We slipped on skin to walk this earth, but for a while. So we are one with spirit. So Taurus is about our body temple. For some people, there are episodes and shock waves that happen that body temple can seem like a prison house of skin and bones, especially with an acute injury, especially with a sudden accidental crash or fall. Think about that body temple when you're petting your favorite animal or your beloved pet or your intimate choice. That person, the way they look at you, the way you touch their hair, the way they breathe next to you, even if you're just happily sleeping together, the way your eyes dance when you're having a wonderful dining experience with each other, the way you take care of your favorite blanket or your type of pillow, all these tangible physical touch, taste, smell, these are Taurian qualities. Taurus is our second zodiacal sign in the Western zodiac. We start with Aries at spring equinox in the Northern Hemisphere. So Aries is the I am, and Aries is the fire of desire. We've got a lot of planets popping into Aries right now, but Aries is also the ability to have the strength, the conviction, and the courage to actually initiate the first step, to actually say, I've been wondering why me. Now the Aries factor comes in and says, why not? I'm ready.
Why not
So
me?
this is, why not me? My turn. I choose. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. You get a quicker manifestation and clearer messages in your dreams and deeper effects from healing modalities and massages and aligning your energy grids and your chakras if you focus on the good that happened in the present, the good that's happening that your mind or your ego may not be able to fully see that bloom. It's a seed, but we may not fully see the bloom because we've got to take the journey. That's Taurus, that's tangible, that's the bull, that's the oxen. It's a big animal. It works. It's a creature of Mother Earth. In certain cultures, beliefs and religions, some of them even worship their holiness, as in India. You know, they don't kill the cows. In India, they work the oxen and the cows, but they don't kill them. They know that that's an earth brother in their beliefs and in their cultures. And, you know, when we think about Texas and we think about United States and a really nice restaurant, we think about, have me a really juicy, good steak. So
That
it's like
sounds
meat and
good.
potatoes. Yeah, Joe's ready to be served his dinner. So it's got to do with, there's a power to beef, and there's a power to the size of that animal, and there's a power to us when we say, what's your deal? What's your beef? Why are you horny? I mean, all these kind of things that we
Why are you
throw out.
horny? Is that what you said?
Yeah, well, it's like, think about the bull's horns. There's bull riding. There's the matadors that work with passion and fierceness, which I totally disagree with bullfighting, absolutely 100%. I wasn't born in that culture, so it's not one of the cultures I'm compatible with. But the bull comes up in a lot of different cultures besides just our constellation in the sky. And this new moon, which is seeds of change, this second sign, yin, magnetic, Taurian, earth element, sun and moon marriage, has to do with the tangible steps, our talents, our skills, our ability to have follow through. That's our Taurus qualities. And all of you, as we often say and remind you, no matter what sign you were born in, that's your birth when you arrived on Earth. There's a star wheel that has all these wonderful order and moving parts of planets and what signs they were in at the particular time you were born on Earth. So Taurus is in all of our charts somewhere. You may not have planets in Taurus, but you have a house, a section, a slice of life in that sign. So that's what we'll talk about later on. Like, you'll just have to know your sun sign, and we'll say, okay, Gemini for you, or Aquarius for you. This bull, this Taurus new moon, is lighting up the anything that was a darkness or a hindrance or a needed pause or a breakaway or a walk away or a hug it on in, invite it on in. That's what Taurus is representing for us with this particular new moon. And so the 4 signs that are most triggered, aka invigorated in some kind of way, of course, is going to be Taurus. Happy birthday to you. May your cake be rich. Okay, so Taurus and its opposite sign, Scorpio, Leo, and its balance opposite sign of Aquarius. So the 4 fixed signs, if you're a fiery Leo, an earthy, bullish Taurus, a very secretive, sensual Scorpio, and a very innovative, out-of-the-box, extraordinary Aquarius, you are the 4 signs in the spotlight right now of intensity, Now, intensity can be fabulous. So when I say intensity, don't go negative on me, but it's intensity. Those 4 signs need to be very mindful in crowds for this next week. You need to be very aware of your surroundings, and you need to keep a grip on your tongue with criticism and keep your temper only productive, because there are things that could poke at the tiger in the cage if you're one of those 4 signs, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, or Scorpio. The signs that are invigorated to get a lot of things done right now with this Taurus energy would be the 2 other earth signs, Virgo and Capricorn, your favored, and also the water signs. Again, yin element, very magnetic, you're drawing it to you. If you're a Pisces or a Cancer, this earthy sign gets along very well with the water signs. This earthy seeds going into the garden of your life favors the other earth signs, but it's about tending to the job. It's about getting things done. And it's that commitment. Rather than complaining, rather than just being tired, prioritize in your schedule that you eat better and that you sleep more. And for myself, and I'm just speaking for myself, I've been doing a little bit of a separation from my tech devices. Like, I'm deliberately turning it off. It doesn't go in the restaurant with me on. It's hidden. It's put away. Location is off, and the volume's completely turned down. And so I'm in the moment. I'm training myself to be a bit more. I'm not saying it's 180 degrees breakup, but I'm going to be able to disengage from something that wants to engage me all the time. And Joe and I were just talking before we went on the show about these different news events that keep popping up and talking about havoc and crisis. And yeah, these are real events that are happening that have a volatility to them. We've got a lot of planets that are beginning to shift from about 3 to 4 years minimum. Uranus longer than that, 7 years, in more of the yin or the feminine or the magnetic vibration of the earth and water signs, and they're kicking on in. There's a lot of fire right now. We've got Saturn's going into the first sign of the zodiac, starts a complete new 12-sign cycle. It's like an epoch or a whole new, like, whoa, big point in our life when a planet starts back at Aries. And so we've got Neptune went to 0 point of Aries. We've got Saturn on the 24th of May going into Aries. That's not happened for 29 to 30 years. 29 to 30 years ago was the last time that Saturn started that whole zodiac dance anew again. So 30 years minus 2025, 2026, Saturn was last in Aries. It has not been there till the third week of May in 2025. So in all of our star maps, we have a Ponce de Leon, we have a explorer, a pioneer, a swashbuckling pirate, an astronaut, a soul on fire that is craving not a new adventure for the adrenaline buzz, not the roller coaster for the sharp turns and the ups and downs that defy physics sometimes. So not just the thrill ride, but our eyes on the prize. So with Taurus right now, I think it's the most beautiful supermoon of 2025 as far as our ability to find compatible options, rarefied, sudden opportunities. Negotiations are favored. It's the energy of the I am with the way that we have Venus right now dancing and meeting up with Saturn in the final degrees of Pisces. There's a softness to that. There's a mystical, prayerful, miracle-producing healing element when Neptune in Pisces is still at that, Neptune's at the 0 point of Aries, and we've got Saturn and Venus and Neptune still close to each other. Venus is jumping into Aries, and so will Saturn. So we've got this energy of we're coming up, our heads above water. We're coming up out of the, am I always going to be treading water? Why does it always seem like the tide comes in just enough and then goes out for me? Why is there a tsunami of emotion? Why was there, that undercurrent of financial fear? So we're coming out of, I don't know what to do, and I'm tired, with the intensity of Saturn spending 2.5 to 3 years in Pisces, making us look at our escapism, our tendency to want to hide, tuck it away, put it on the shelf, throw it in the closet. I don't want to deal with this right now. So now it's all coming into Aries saying, you've done really well with your psychological and your spiritual and your intuitive development and discernment. Thank you for trusting your connection with Great Spirit that you have. Thank you for remembering, if it needs to be on a daily basis, you're connected to the risen Christ, the Holy Ghost, Great Spirit. If you're Buddhist, connecting to what you have proven to yourself actually responds to you, manifests for you. Joe knows this about me and the audience that's been around us the longest. As a skeptic, as we all at some point can be to a greater or lesser degree, from my childhood, if I have ever, and the more often I have done it, the results were superb. But as I've given up more direction and control to the Holy Ghost and the Holy Spirit, and I say, you're in command, you're the captain of the ship, I like my mind being in league with you and your sensations and how you empower my intuition. There's not one time I've not taken the time to put that energy onto a quandary or a question or a thankfulness for a manifestation and a blessing that came out of the blue. It always works for me. So whatever it is, and I'm not pushing my ideology or stuff that I don't have to have anybody's validation. I know it works for me. I found what works for me. So, and Mother Nature and that together for me are the total package. However you connect with God, however you connect to the I am that I am, that is the absolute highest availability on a 100% 24/7 basis of how we measure time on Earth. What's being illuminated right now with these planets and the celestial equation moving more into the first sign of Aries. Aries is the I am. And so we have this new moon before we start to get these triads and blessing ways in the fire, enthusiasm, inspiration, aspiration, the fires of our desires and what strikes the match to get us started in the first place, the light and the darkness. That's what's going on with this Aries shift. So the Pisces showed us where we felt rejected, where we felt abandoned over the last 3 to 4 years, where we had a battle within ourselves. So therefore, if we wouldn't face it within ourselves, it became our partners. It became mirrored back to us through job scenarios or family dramas and dynamics, successes or guillotines. So we've had this intensity for the last 3 to 3.5 years of this inundation of Pisces, the fishes, and the 12th sign of the Western zodiac to say it's time to look at your prison, what got you into the jail of emotions or the prison of fears. You've got to look at this over the next 2 to 3 years. Yes, you'll live your life, you'll find some work, you'll make some love, you'll get angry, you'll do this, you'll do that, you'll get caught up in the mundane, but this is the overarching soul school that we're all in. So we made it to shore. The sun is shining. The storms, although they've been fierce and intense, as well manifested here on our planet, the Aries is saying, now don't burn yourself with your anger. Don't be so blinded by the light of it's got to be my way or the highway kind of attitudes or judgments or mandates. This is about negotiation. Taurus and the Libra factor in our charts, the Taurus patience and calmness, and Taurus has the energy. The Taurus in us lights up our desire and our ability to manifest on the 3D material world. It's okay. Why is it you're drawn to that type of furniture? Why is it you want to rent instead of own? Are you just working for the money? Are you a slave to it, the material world? Are you enjoying whatever it is that you're working for and however you're getting compensated? Are you always rushing out the door to make more? Or are you really living large with what you have? And the bigger question is, even if there are some components missing because of that sudden accident or that health diagnosis, or you got a freeze frame in your life because someone walked in or walked out, and you somehow felt less than or inadequate because of a financial situation or a hard hit more than once or twice in your life. Taurus is about you build back better. Taurus is about maybe some of those psychological challenges and maybe some of those felt like my legs the rug got pulled out from under me, was also about us being able to learn how to be grateful for who we have in our life and how they treat us when we don't have all that stuff financially. Who's really there? Who lets us be ourselves? Who accepts us, whether it's a high tide or a low tide financially or health-wise or whatever? Who is it that's our rock of Gibraltar? Well, that's the Taurus factor. That's the Taurus factor. And that's a rich factor spiritually. It's like you can agree to disagree with somebody, but you're in a storm within yourself when anybody else that's a mortal is able to sink your ship emotionally, psychologically. So Pisces is helping us come up out of the illusion. These planets leaving Pisces for the last 3 years and going into Aries for all signs. And those very strong areas of our chart, the Pisces and the Aries, that's the areas that have been most in the spotlight. That's what I've always liked about astrology, that you can look at, okay, what do they say about the last 2 to 3 years? The last 2 to 3 years was the Pisces emphasis, and the nodes were in Aries Libra. So we had to surrender to something bigger, higher, healthier than just our own way of seeing it, our own way of reacting to it, our own way of wanting to be dramatic or rejected or manipulative or wanting to control it instead of having any kind of flow with it. So the Pisces part of it is, which side of that? Do you do the rejecting or do you get rejected? Were you abandoned or do you abandon people and let that trigger happen? However we've been playing on the great stage of life. We need to step out of those old archetypes and those old movie scenes or theatrical roles that we played from the last 3 years, because everything's new now. So let's say you were in a romantic drama, or let's say you were in some kind of reality series where there was high drama and addiction and all that. Aries is saying, okay, I'm bored now. You can change all the people, but the story's the same ad nauseum. So now the Aries is saying, what about a series about a ranch? What about connecting back with the earth with some lesser known cultures, ancient cultures that literally had to survive, not just in a hurricane or a tornado, or those can be horrific with flood and wind-driven water. But what about the people that literally are in harmony, have to be, and even then there's high risk with Mother Nature? So Taurus is all about Mother Nature. It's to me, sometimes it's part of the Empress in the tarot cards. The Empress, it's like you've got the Magician, and then you've got the High Priestess, and then you've got the Empress. And it's that whole type of triad energy, although you can't say that Libra's not involved in it, because Venus, the Greek and the Roman myths and legends and lores of Venus, she is the agent that gets involved with the romantic and the pleasurable and the tangible and the things that actually give us comfort and pleasure, and a reason that sometimes it makes sense living here on Earth, wondering what our purpose is, and just kind of getting into the moment of working with the dirt, feeding the chickens, walking the dog, looking at the lake, not stressing over where we're going to eat and how much money it'll take. Just get to the damn lake and sit down. Fishing, looking at the moon, gazing at the rainbow, feeling the breeze on your face, the hummingbirds coming back, the baby birds being born. Taurus is also about sniffing things out. I'm noticing how many creatures are smelling, like the new grasses coming up and the plants and the dogs, even in an unchemicalized lawn, they're wanting to eat the grass and chew on some of the herbs and things that are growing out there. There's the birds are happy, they're mating, there's babies and eggs, and so there's Joe and I talked about the copperheads in our areas are emerging. So there's a lot of animal totem intensity that comes out every year. It's much more common to see more of your living oracle animal totems coming out because it's emerging from the spring equinox. It's emerging from the harsher temperatures of hibernation and frost and freeze. So whatever whatever animal or bird is capturing your attention, and when you walk through the plants or the seed packets, which one's capturing your attention? You've got your standbys that are your favorites. You've got your standby herbs and all of that. But I just love looking at all those seed packets, and I focus on what colors calling to me. Gee, I don't know everything about that flower, but if it's going to be ornamental, or if it's going to be, like I always tend to lean into that plant or this kind of plant or herbs, but no, that one's just pretty. I'm just going to plant that one. And they're like $1 packets or $2 packets, and it's kind of like a whole manifestation of like you kind of part the dirt, you put your seeds in, and you wait and see who got to break out of the shell and take on a new life. Yeah, that's Aries. That's Aries. So we're breaking shells, we're emerging rather than, and I will tell you, there is a T-square to this particular new moon, and although in my time zone it kind of bounced around at 2 to 3 in the morning this morning, but it still felt like Sunday. There's an energy with this that all of us, if I could give you good celestial spiritual advice as one, all of us need to check ourselves with our impatience in traffic. There are the craziest drivers right now I've literally ever seen in my life. I don't know what's going on. It's like there's some kind of mass chaotic hypnosis going on of a whole lot of, wow, you took a chance there, and wow, that was really arrogant. So there's a whole lot of people dropping F-bombs, but instead it's just like, it's so intense out there right now that I'm just like, and I'm hearing people talk about it like whatever rules we grew up with whatever age we are, it's just cray-cray out there. So the driving force, that's Aries, that's Mars. And we've got the sun and moon kissing in Taurus, Earth, but we've got what we call a square to Mars, which is now in Leo, and it just passed its former retrograde point back in December of 2024. It's now made it to 7 degrees of the Lion. So we are ready to embrace bold and new, and we have not just a fascination with, but we're interested in what's it going to take to get really committed and involved in this plan. So the Taurus is about keep your eyes on the prize. This is a very favorable, I don't care what the news is trying to tell you, this is a very powerful cycle to observe the material world, the things that are tangible, not just falling for what social media says is a hot trend, but just really looking around you at what we, the people, seem to be wanting more of. I'm seeing in my area, it's not woo-woo at all, that I'm seeing in the local feed stores, actual mountain people making the homemade soaps, some with lye, some with goat's milk, some with coconut oil. I picked up a bar of the Indian remedy of poison ivy poison oak soap today, and I'm like, yeah, that's nice in this little small town in Tennessee. So I'm beginning to see things that used to be just in health food stores. And even then, you had to have the owners that knew about herbs and had some certification. I'm beginning to see people wanting to deliberately support more local restaurants, more local artisans and craft makers, and I'm hearing more bartering at the Mennonite and the Amish market. There's some interesting things going on that I'm feeling. No matter what cray-cray is going on out there, there is like a unification. Glad to see it. Venus is about coming together and like not even needing to get into each other's opinion about this or that. What can we do to come together like people do when these crazy storms hit their neighborhood, and maybe they never even knew their neighbors that much, and people run out in the streets to help you. So maybe part of our collective soul lesson as seekers of light, allowing the I am, is that maybe we could have a really nice intentional decision with this new moon of, I no longer have to accept or embrace and activate the divine truths through tragedy or loss or wind or storm or strife. I don't need to be right in all of those mind fears or think, well, what about this and what about that? I don't need to be right. I don't want to be right about those things. I would rather just allow the rightness of it. So Taurus is about getting your foundation. It's the first of all 12 zodiac signs. It's the first earth sign. The zodiac starts with fire. It starts with Aries. Aries is number 1. Taurus is number 2. Number 2 has more to do with the details. It has more to do with make sure it's a good pasture for the goats and the sheep and the bulls and all of that. So it's the purposefulness and it's the dance of Mother Nature coming awake. And I'm telling you, even though we have Pluto and Aquarius fighting with Mars and Leo, if we will just keep our tempers and our ego in check, still be who you are, move authentically to the world, but it doesn't mean you have to teach them or tell them everything. Just navigate yourself out of the fray and the confusion and the chaos and the people going batshit with their tempers and wanting to strike out and lash out at absolutely innocent people just because they drive a certain kind of car, or, I mean, there's too much of, wow, it seems like they were at the wrong place at the wrong time. There's this, it's like I can literally see it, Joe. It's like one side of the mirror, the other side of the mirror. It's like, you know, new moons are portals. And this one can be such a strong portal of peace, tangible prosperity, like really looking at what's not working and thanking it. Sounds like an oxymoron, but it's not. Looking at what you've realized now isn't your highest potential, or right now the people or the potential that's giving back to you. If you're feeling unbalanced in your material world, that people are attempting to extract more from you or have a haughty attitude and expect you to serve them or expect you to just take any kind of sort of behavior, yeah, no. Taurus is about, I like my world to be calm and realistic and safe and secure. So that's the kind of people that I'm going to be spending time with. And the real people and the people that aren't out to take me or fake me, and I'm not out to bake anybody else. And you have to be, to thine own self, be true with that. So when you're really a treasure of a person in this life, then stand up and do that for the people you're connecting with in your life. And that's Taurus. Taurus has to do with who it is you would invite over to really take the time and effort and spend the money to absolutely fix them the great meal, to absolutely sit down and break bread with them, to feel safe enough to bare your soul to them, to feel secure enough to be able to just hang out with each other and maybe never even get on the topic of whatever it is that has hurt them or challenged them or that they've been going through or they have a continual struggle with. If somebody's going through that loss, if someone's going through, as several people since this year has started have confided with me, a health crisis, a loss, a breakup, something or someone that went away in some kind of a shocking or surprising way. And several of my clients, they kind of knew it was coming with that animal or that relative, but they were so caught up in the moment of wanting to spend every precious time with that cat, that dog, that person, that family member, concern over a child, concern over a partner. There's been an intensity, and I said back in 2024, 2025 is going to be one of those crossroads, hallmark type of years, to where we look back in reference to 2025. We look back like, the things that people reference when they go back to 2012 and the Mayan long count calendar, one ending, one beginning, back to 2020 and the world lockdowns of all kinds of things, and everybody else had an opinion about that. 2025 has got to do with the Phoenix and how we're finding our fire of our spirit, not just the fires of our desires, but the fire of our spirit, and how the fire of the holy fire, the divine fire, the peace that passeth all understanding, like humans can't even understand it, when sacred or divine or holy alignments and peace come into your life. That's a part of what's making an offering to us. We go to church. When I've gone into Orthodox churches, they have a different type of incense is burning, and the Greek Orthodox or the Catholic. You go into a Baptist church and communion is different than it is in Orthodox churches. It's different in rituals. But what it's doing is it's reminding us in different cultural ways, fire ceremonies to the indigenous people, how we're connected in one with spirit. The Creator. And as we tune into the Creator, the Almighty I Am, it starts to teach us as children of God, as one with the divine, how to create and to look at what is our part? What is our part in creating? That's Aries, creating the birth, the new, the seed. Why are we choosing to focus and create a particular thing? Why does that capture our fascination, our fancy, our investments of time and money? What is it that stirs within our soul that says, that right there, that I feel a fire in my soul? Or even a material possession, that car, that town, that road, that apartment, that house, that pet, out of all the ones that could be at the shelter, or that breed of all the ones that you could buy if you wanted a purebred cat or a dog. Why a Siamese? Why an Arabian horse versus another kind of horse? Why we go to things like horse racing, where we're actually watching animals in a performance, in an arena, and then we're actually betting money, or Vegas in the slots. What is it about that adrenaline? What is it about that? Anytime you're gambling, it's a part of kind of rolling the dice and saying, is it a lucky day for me, a spirit on my side? How do I summon that good luck? And everybody's wondering, how can you figure out the lottery numbers? So Aries is about, just stop. Next time you get gas, just stop and go into the gas station and just pick, I love to call them scratch and sniff. And I need to follow my own advice and do this, because that's the third time Spirit's brought it up to me. And just go in and buy one of those little $1 or $2 or $5 tickets, or $2 tickets.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one it is.
It doesn't, and just trust it, and just have fun with it, whether you win or not. The fact that you spend the $2, sometimes I'll just buy one of those $2 scratch and sniffs, but the fact that you do it, you're activating the manifestation. It's not the amount of it, but it's like you're saying, I believe that the divine can bless me in all kinds of ways. And that's about, Aries will take the chance. Aries will dare to dive off the high dive. And I kind of would sum it up with, keep the eyes on the prize. Particular new moon with Venus and Saturn meeting up with each other in Pisces. Our next full moon is the flower moon, Wesak, the Buddha moon in Scorpio. And so what we're going to see by the 11th, 12th, 13th of May, when we have that bloom of that incredible, I love the power of the Scorpio moon. It's a resurrection moon. It's the fates have taken care of what needs to be let go of, released, cleansed, purged, buried. But it's how we rise back after the funeral of our old layers, our old self that has already, good and bad, plus or minus, served its highest purpose, and we are emerging ourselves out of the egg, out of a spring egg. And so that's what Aries is telling us that's going on. But the fact that I want you to pay attention to your dreams, and you may be in a semi-hypnotic state of listening to your music when you're driving your car, and all of a sudden there can be like this incredible intuitive message that comes to you, or it could even seem like, I don't care if you think it's weird because it happens to me all the time, so I don't care about your opinion. Just want to tell you, I don't care. Yeah, and all of a sudden you just flip in stations and a song will come on, and it absolutely has the lyrics that are kind of making you do the Scooby-Doo, what role? Yeah, it's actually like the radio's like got a message for you, and it's like, wow, that's interesting. So I myself don't doubt that the Creator can speak to us in many ways. Joe might like the music, the visuals, other people love journaling, other people love the oracle cards, which I'm happy to do for you tonight. And I'm telling you, out of all the new moons we'll talk about this year, I like this one, and I like the full moon that's coming up on May 11th, 12th. I like this moon dance.
I call it radiomancy. I learned it from Lon Milo Duquette. You just ask a question and then turn the radio station until you feel like stopping and listen to the lyrics.
It's a message. I absolutely agree with him. Yeah, because you call out your question, like you'll say, I'll take the third song or the next song on this station. So, I'm doing that since my surfer friend days, because it'd be like, no, I'd always argue with my surfer friends, don't put it on a top 10. Put it on one that plays all kinds of music, so it's like you can't even predict what it'll be.
Right.
And so he's right. He's right. You can say, okay, the fourth song. Now I'm telling you right now from experience, don't say the 10th song, because you'll probably never pay attention long enough to go, damn, I missed it. So music is Taurus and Libra. And so right now, if you can get yourself out between now and May 12th, get you some seeds, look at the flowers, considering going and look at the paint colors, see if there's anything you want to change or freshen up with paint. This whole artistry Venus thing is Taurus. And maybe go to some kind of little neighborhood guitar pick and player, or some little art fest or herbal fest or whatever it is. Go to some type of nature-based outdoor kind of festivals if you can, just your little local ones that don't have to, cost you a whole lot of money, and that you're happy to buy some things and donate because it is reasonable. Get your feet on the ground. That's Taurus. I really feel that opportunities could come like when somebody says, hey, I got a weird idea. Boom. I feel like that could be like, whoa, giddy up, saddle up, giddy up, and let's go, cowboy. So it's stand up for you, but when you're really standing up for yourself, you don't have to do it with vitriol, anger, accusing somebody else, or needing to put somebody else down. You simply say, well, I can tell me about you. Me, I can't tell you about you, because you're you, and you're going to do you, but this is where I'm at, and so that's a hard pass, or that's like, oh, tell me more, I'm interested. Yeah. Taurus will draw the line. Taurus will draw the line. So that's what this is. Where do you draw the line in the sand? First and foremost, Joe, with ourselves. Where do I might think about drawing the line in the sand, that I don't go too far that way, or I don't back up too much that way, because that backing up, running away, doubting has references in my past. And so Taurus brings us the stability and the ability to be power players ourselves and allow those manifestations and gifts and blooms and blossoms to happen for us between now and when we go to November of this year, when we're in Taurus's opposite sign of Scorpio. Now, the colors of Taurus, that if you're into color magic, or the colors that are deemed to be, according to the ancients, bringing you prosperity right now, will be the earthy shades of green in your outerwear, or like the shirt that you choose, or the jacket or the scarf, robin's egg blue, and then Taurus's opposite color going over into Scorpio's domain of black. So I know a lot of Taurus people as friends and clients. They love to wear black. I mean, they love it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're Taurus. You're kind of like spring colors, like them pale pinks and the, Easter colors, like the really light yellows and all that. They go, I love all those, but I like wearing black. It's an energy thing. I think that when we choose and feel comfortable in black, it's when we're really holding our own energies and charging up our own energies. White gives off a lot of energy in color magic when you're wearing whites, ivories, winter whites, warm whites, cool whites, Arctic whites. And you're ready to really just in that mood to radiate a lot of light and energy. It's white to me is like the color of prayer and devotion and sincerity.
Speaking really of black, those damn crickets are back, Mary.
Well, how is it they say that in certain type of dialogues? They'll say, yeah, I asked my wife the other night, or asked my husband the other night, blah, 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 blah. I finally spoke up and asked them something. What did they say? What did they say? Nothing. Crickets.
Crickets. Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah, maybe that came up in Taurus for a reason. So this is about how much do you trust yourself, and are you ready and grounded enough? Get out in nature if you can, just to sit on the dock of the bay and just stare and watch whatever shows up. But do be aware of the animal or sky totems. Is it a four-legged? Is it a fish that you see? Is it a certain bird? Snakes, things that are crickets. Start looking at what's capturing your attention. And I just think it's fun to use the internet as a type of little mini, copperhead. Well, maybe the color copper. And maybe the energy.
They're such beautiful
nutrition.
snakes. I hate getting rid of them because the skin on them looks really pretty. And honestly, copperheads are like, they usually won't mess with you unless they feel attacked or whatever. But if they do, they're mean little bastards, man. And I don't know. I know it's nature. You're probably mad at me, but like I can't deal with venomous snakes. I think
vipers. Listen. Vipers are. Yeah. No. Well, here's the way I look at it here. In Tennessee, there's a whole bunch of woods, and there's rocks and fallen logs and trees all over the place because pine trees uproot really easy in Tennessee, and they're always in the hills and stuff around here. So they have lots of places that they can go be instead of just the driveway, your house, walking around. It's like there's a whole lot of stuff there. So if you come into my path, I always say it this way with Spirit, because I had really like half inch between me and a copperhead when I first came to Tennessee in 2014. It's like, holy moly. And I was out just being a country girl, stomping around barefoot in April, Joe, in April. And I mean, there it was. It was a copperhead, and it raised up, and it was the same color. You know how people get those landscape smooth rocks?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're the colors of a copperhead around here. And they're like them smooth rocks that don't hurt when you walk on them. I'm out stomping, going to the back porch, and boom, there it was. Nobody was home. I had just moved over here, and I looked away. I've known since growing up in Tennessee. I just looked away, and I immediately just shut down my energy, went straight into prayer, and said, Spirit, let me convey this feeling, help me convey this feeling to this viper that's literally raised up, ready to strike my shin bone. And I just telepathically talked to it, and I just said, I startled you. We startled each other. I wish you no harm. Go and don't bite me. And I won't tell my cousin where I saw you go, because he's military. He would say, look,
is that an Aries thing or something? I would have killed that sumbitch.
Well, my cousin knows about snakes, has even eaten rattlesnake with all the military work that he's had all over the world, but he doesn't like to kill snakes. He said, I don't like to kill, period. Most military people don't when they've gotten out of the military. And I know we encroach on nature. Like, he gets it. And even hunters will say, well, unless I'm going to eat it, or, unless it's threatening me. But that was, of all the places it could be, Joe, there's woods that surround me. It's not healthy for the snake or anybody here. It's invasive for it to come actually on the residential areas where humans are. You've got to coexist,
Get your big old fat king snake. That's all you need.
Yeah, and there's black snakes here. But Joe, my hand to God, it immediately went back down out of the attack. Of course, I didn't move because I was barefoot. It went down out of the attack position, looked at me, and psychically, as crazy as it sounds, because it sure sounded crazy to me when it came, was this telepathic voice said, it's a female, I'm pregnant, I just want to go. And I'm like, thinking copperhead pregnant.
Well, get on out of here then. Deal. That's what I'd have said.
Deal. And it did. It did, Joe, and it slithered away. It went into a hole over where some leaves were in the woods. It was kind of just off the property, but it was close enough to come here. And I said, and now there's a PS to that. Don't come back the same way you did, because the yard people or whatever will take you away. I gave you a chance to live. You didn't bite me. We're done. We're even. Don't come back. Yeah, don't come back. So, but I mean, I'm telling you, I could have. That's what I'm talking about, Aries energy. In an instant, like just going out the back door and walking, my whole world would have changed if I was bit by that viper, by that copperhead. And there are black snakes here, and they come up from the lake. And black snakes are the good snakes, folks. They take care of the other ones. They kind of wrestle and take out a lot of the vipers. So it is snake season, spring in wooded areas, for seasonal places, earlier in Florida, and there's different kind of snakes there. But the vipers are coming out right now. So, again, it's their season. It's spring. And we need to be, what did I just say about this thing with Mars and Leo and Pluto and Aquarius? We need to not just be stomping unaware. And we don't need to let, as you said, Joe, creatures that could convey invasive type of tragedy on people or pets to be around either. So it's got to be what? Reciprocity. It's like, you go over there, I'm not going to bother you, and if you come back over here, you're done with this life. So
well,
that's
I'll tell you this real quick story. There's a kid we used to have this little gas station. It was Whitmire's Grocery. Wasn't a kid, but it was a young guy. And he pulled into the gas station. He rubbed his hands over the tires thinking that he's like, I got nails in my tires or something. And he kept bumping his hand over it, you know. And what it was a copperhead's teeth. He ran it over, and its fangs were sticking out, and it was in the back side of the tire, and he kept hitting it. Eventually, they sent him to the hospital. He died from that. Just grazing its teeth, and it kept poking him.
Oh, my.
He did it a few times. He's like, see, I feel it. But, you know, like, I can't find it.
Oh, my goodness. And he never knew till he had already been like, so
he
was
stroking
sick. The fangs?
Yeah, he didn't even know. Yeah, he got real sick. And then, you know, it was a while back, but he went to the hospital from that. And, like, I've seen so many incidents with viperous snakes when I was younger, too, and, like, stuff that's happened. My dad got bit by one, and his brother started cutting into his leg. Yeah, when he was, like, so, I don't know, man. Anytime I know they're around, I guess it's just a natural thing.
I absolutely was spared. I'm telling you, it's the closest, just like people seeing their close encounters of a paranormal type, that I was literally, it was a half an inch to an inch to bite me. And it already had risen up. I mean, copperheads don't give you a warning. They don't like necessarily try to slither away. Copperheads are like, I said, no. I think they're very intense. So I can tell that story. That was 2013. I can tell you that I'm grateful to Mother Nature, God, and my good karma every day that didn't happen. And the testimonial part of it is, when Joe tells you a story like the guy that thought it was nails in his tire and was brushing back and forth over the fangs, which is like the injection, the jab of the venom of that creature. And if a hospital in your area doesn't have anti-venom, and by the way, it's very expensive, I mean, if they don't have it, there's a problem for any kind of beast that gets bit by, especially a copperhead. So
baby ones are the worst, too.
Yeah, well, I think, how did that get described to me by a veterinarian? He said baby vipers have stronger, like I think they're born with all the poison they'll ever need to have, and the baby vipers have as much venom, if not more, or more potent or toxic, I guess, because they're babies, than the adult copperhead. Like, it's very intense. And I'm telling you, people, they blend in with rocks. They really blend in
with
the
copperheads, yeah. And I always
like
cut
North Georgia.
It sounds brutal, but I always cut the heads off of them, too, and get rid of the heads, because, like...
And look at Medusa. Look at Medusa in Greek mythology. She was called a gorgon, and she only had half the body of the snake, and the snake heads were alive on her head. And if she stared at somebody, they turned to stone instead of a pillar of salt. Yeah, so the gorgons had all these kind of ways of working with animal totems that delivered the message the first time. And snakes kind of come under the sign of Scorpio. And it's interesting that snakes start to emerge in the northern hemisphere in the nature season of spring. So right now, if I would cut to the chase, I would say right now, energetically, our soul is stirring, our passions are stirring. Some of us might be craving a type of tactile touch or intimacy. There can be some very Scorpio secretive, passionate things that are happening that really is nobody business but whoever's involved. I mean, I get that. But the scorpionic thing is like, this is my private time. This is what I want to do. I don't care or need anybody else's opinion about it. I don't need to go broadcast it in the street with a poster or a banner or I'm this, and so you better respect it. It's like, really, you're all amateurs. So it's about us redefining. You know what you've always heard your whole life? People that have to talk about sex aren't good at it. It's the quiet ones that'll go, I know how to sizzle. Sit down. Yeah, so there's this energy.
They go around
right now
bragging to everybody about how good they are at it or something.
Oh, please. Yeah. So there's a Joe and I are going to get sarcastic. There's a sizzle of genuine passion that's available right now. And I'll tell you, of all the Scorpios I've met, and as I say, I can speak with authority on Scorpio, of all the Scorpio, male, female, old and young, that I've met, different cultures and all that, it's those Taurus people out there they get all fired up with that sexy mama stuff and that sexy daddy stuff. I mean, Taurus people, like, they're like that, like sex speaks to them. Where Scorpio will go, yeah, okay, but it's not like the whole
It's not the whole world, folks. You know,
right. And Scorpio's like, when I'm there, I'm really there. But when I'm not, I'm not. So, but Taurus, oh no, I gotta have that a lot. They're like the cats that when the cats come into heat, and I love you, Taurus, but when they're in that mode now, so I'm being complimentary. Taurus are like those real pretty cats that are just like kind of like flipping, like I said, I'm feeling sassy. I mean, yeah, and then now we got Mars and Leo.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if any of you have ever watched those YouTube nature shows where the female baboon or the female lioness just turns around and slaps the crap out of the male, like I said right now. And then I'll say, oh, okay, I was sleeping. Sorry. I mean, it's just like there's like these intense, and then scorpions, I mean, Taurus has the opposite sign of Scorpio. Most people don't know that, you know, the scorpion, it gets like,
I have Jupiter in Scorpio. What does that mean? Like,
that's lucky. Well, Jupiter in Scorpio is when a person, not just Joe, but any of you that have Jupiter in Scorpio, and it runs through all the signs every 12 years since you were born. So when you're born with Jupiter in Scorpio, or when Jupiter goes through Scorpio in one of its cycles, it has a lot to do with when we redefine what passion and reliability of the pleasure principles of love is. The pleasure principles of what makes someone your BFF, what makes someone in that close category of like, yeah, that's a close friend, that's somebody I can let my hair down with, that somebody just gets me. That's more to do with Taurus and Scorpio type of stuff, and the sensuality that is not noisy, not a lot of words. That we get into Gemini and Sag on that kind of stuff, but the Taurus Scorpio factor is I just want to feel you. So if you've got Jupiter in Scorpio, when you feel that somebody really understands your touch, when you feel that somebody really knows that your touch is more than just a sex playtime, Jupiter in Scorpio is like, part of my love language isn't about performance. It's kind of like those blue people in Avatar, like it's third eye stuff. It's soul to soul stuff when you get into Scorpio. And that's why Scorpio can be so intense of like, okay, I'm not interested in just playtime recreation. I'm not a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am kind of male or female. It's like, I'd rather have the intensity rather than the variety. And most people that avoid relationships will take a whole lot of variety and they'll avoid the intensity. Well,
or they only let stuff get so deep and then they just move on to the next one.
Then they'll guillotine it. Then they'll sabotage it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Mars is in Leo right now, Joe. So by this weekend, people are going to feel the strut of Mars and Leo. Your most social days coming out of this new moon, Tuesday and Wednesday. This is Moon Day. This is Monday when we're actually doing this live, and the replay will be up there. So Tuesday and Wednesday, the moon shifts into Gemini, and it's a really good time to pitch an idea, sign on the dotted line. Be very aware of what someone's expectations are of your service or your skill set versus what they're going to pay you. So, yeah, all of us don't usually get paid for all the time it took to get here right now with our knowledge, whether that was college or 20 years of painting or landscaping, and you're doing something else now and whatever. There's always a lot of give in whatever talent that we present, because the talent is our present. And so we have to respect the negotiation, Taurus and Libra, the negotiation that we have to do, because don't expect your customer or your client to get it of how reasonable you are because of based on all the time spent and all the study and all the investment that you did of your money to get to where you are right now in whatever given skill set or craft that you have. And then the people that just say anything. Just say anything. They just make it up. Oh, here's what this card means. Or it still fascinates me to this day that people would watch some kind of social media thing where the person's literally opening the book and reading the tarot card or reading the oracle card out of the book, only saying that that's a reading for them. I'm like, I get it when they're picking a card for you, but when they're literally just saying, let me read this out of the book for you, it's like, yeah, the person on the other end of that with their eyes could do that. And I'm telling you, when you do it yourself, it engages both your subconscious and your conscious.
That's what it's actually designed for, is for your individuation.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's got to, you're going to get blessings and teachings out of somebody else doing it for you. Absolutely. It's like the moment in time kind of magic. But when you yourself get a little deck that you're attracted to, it doesn't have to be 800 decks, But get a deck that you're attracted to, and it's got a certain kind of feel. It's just got a certain kind of feel, and you just flow with it, and it flows with you. And you don't have to pick 10 cards or so. Just pick one card. Let's say, thank you for my message for the day. Thank you for my message for the day. Pick one animal card. Pick one oracle card. Just pick it. And if you do it in the morning, I know it's tempting to pick another one, but because you don't understand it, but just pick it.
They just keep pulling cards, right?
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody does it. They'll lie if they say they don't. Just pick that one card, and then by evening, when you're getting ready to settle into your shift of sleeping, pick one more card and say, this was the signifier. This was part 2 of what my AM, my morning card, wanted to tell me about this day. And you will better train yourself intuitively and artistically by doing that. Because when you've got a deck of, let's say, 78 cards, and you pick one in the morning, and just do it for a week, one in the morning and one at night, and read those two together at the end of the day, and just kind of take that into your dream time, your sleep time, and maybe don't pick cards the next day at all. Like, skip it, do it every other day, and let it bloom. Let it bloom. There's one thing to get our ADHD message of like, I said I want a message now, so, or I want to understand it now. It's just like there's something about, I love how Taurus people that are really strong in Taurus or Cancer planets, they have, to me, a supernatural type of patience.
Yeah.
Like I'll often say to them, you are the most patient person I know. I'm telling you, I would have lost it back there. I would have put them in check, and they just smile.
Depending on the rest of their chart, like, yeah, I mean, I knew a person that had, like, like 7 planets in Taurus, but their other signs they had just made them completely just a nervous wreck all the time, like the aspects.
Yeah, well, and part of that with Taurus, when you've got a stellium, or a stellium is just a fancy astrology word for a bunch of planets in one sign, like accentuating one of the zodiac signs.
Yeah.
When you've got a stellium in Earth Taurus, remember there's 3 Earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but Taurus is the only fixed Earth sign. So Taurus people, in their unconscious, in the depths of the Taurus people, they often get anxiety or stress themselves out when their schedule gets off, or someone doesn't come on the planned day that they're supposed to mow the yard or finish the deck.
Stability starts going amok.
Yeah, they Taurus people like things at a certain time in a certain way. They want that reliability factor. So that would probably just drive another sign crazy. I got a flow or Aquarius. No, I'm not staying home at 3 just because they say they're going to come to mow the yard. Yeah, screw that. I'm not doing it. But Taurus likes the flow of things getting done on time and it being right the first time. So that teaches you, when you're dealing with a client or a patient or a customer that you happen to know they're a Taurus, they're going to want you to take time to explain to them, bottom line, what's the option, what's the cost. That's what they're going to want. So you have to get that up front. For $300, I do this. I may not be your cup of tea, but that's what I do. So then right away, they've got the money flowing around in their head. You got to get the money out of the way with earth signs. They got to know what the money is, and they've got to have an ability to appreciate the worth of it and to maybe get some kind of little deal, especially Virgos, some kind of little deal. Now, the Capricorn people out there, if they see your worth, they will pay you and match it. I like the way Capricorn does business. It's business up front, any parties in the back. I'm sticking to business first. I'm going to work with what keeps elevating me onward and upward with this. And you'll see Capricorns can handle that stress-ridden CEO position. You'll find the Tauruses in the office managers, or Virgos, or the accountants and the bankers. But the Capricorn's got going up the top of the mountain. Like, he's got the bankers, he's got the accountants, he's got the businesses, and he's the one that's hiring the right people in that pyramid to make all the moving parts move successfully. So if you ever encounter a Capricorn potential investor or customer or that kind of friend, yeah, you need to really respect what it is that they do, because they are totally committed to the ride. Totally committed to the ride.
So let's do a short break here. You want to do the signs and then take people's calls when we come back, or
yes,
do you want to do calls or signs? You think
whatever the audience deems. If they start calling in, we'll do the calls. We'll get the signs out of the way like we normally do. With our format is normally, as Joe reminded me, that the first hour we do the cosmic conditions and the celestial flavor and recipes of the month, the weather forecast, the cosmic forecast, and then we do tidbits for the signs. Because let me teach you this. When it comes to astrology, don't get so caught up in the signs forecast. But like Joe said, if you've got a bunch of planets in Taurus, or it's your Taurus birthday season like it is now, yeah, you want to pay attention. Those 4 signs I mentioned, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, yeah, you want to pay attention. But overall, it's an easy new moon for all 12 signs. Those 4 are the 4 that, or you're involved with either a Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, or Scorpio. Yeah, you guys want to listen to your forecast. But the stuff, the time I take in the beginning is what the atmosphere favorability is out there and what the cautions are. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back. We'll go through each sign, and then we'll take your calls here with Mary Dusina. Make sure you go to her website. Get a reading, folks. It'll blow your mind. MaryDusina.com, MaryDusina.com. I don't know why I have a problem spelling and talking in my head, but that's the right website. I'll put it in the links, too, for you guys, all right? We'll be right back. Stay with us. Silence or experience stress from a paranormal experience, even if it happened 20 years ago, when thinking or talking about it today still makes you feel sick to your stomach or makes your heart beat faster, or you suddenly can't breathe. Maybe you even feel those old familiar signs of a panic attack trying to reach the surface. You could have unprocessed emotional responses. Those reactions of terror and trauma are no different than living through a horrible assault, childhood abuse, or a terrible car accident. It can be nearly impossible to find help. The very instance of seeing a ghost or encountering a cryptid could be clinically described as seeing or hearing things that aren't there. You could be considered psychotic, or at best, you're just not taken seriously. Out of a growing mountain of research, the National Institute for Integrative Healthcare showed that 8 out of 10 veterans who completed just 6 one-hour EFT sessions no longer tested positive for PTSD. If you've had paranormal trauma, you can contact Metaphorical Archaeology by calling 214-995-3754. Again, that's 214-995-3754 for a discreet consultation.
This is Malorcas45, fan of the Fridge FM, challenging everyone to open their mind's eye. Listen to Lighting the Void with Joe Roop to gain precision for your third eye vision.
Hey, this is No Way Jose, a Northern California Piscean stuck in the Arizona desert. I'm a void walker, and I got the shoes to prove it. So what do I do when my soul yearns to delve deep into the realm of the unknown? I aim my satellite straight into the night sky and catch a smooth ride on the KTLK-DB radio waves. I tune into Lighting the Void with Joe Roop on the Fringe FM.
Joe, Lighting the Void is the best show on the planet. This is Barney, your friend from Facebook. Thank you and all the crew for all you do. Namaste, my friend.
This is Macon from the foothills of North Carolina, and I am a void walker.
G'day, void walkers. This is Lily from down under Australia. The world may be small, the enigma is greater. So let your curiosity take you for a journey with Joe Roop.
Hey, this is Fee, coming in from Central Maryland, and I am a void walker.
This is Kevin Doherty, a beginner void walker. I'm from Vancouver, BC. I know a little about a lot, and as Leonard Skinner said, I'll guess the rest. I learned a lot from Mr. Roop in the show, and heard it from the beginning. I knew right then he was going to be a new Art Bell. Thanks for all your shows, and keep it up.
Hey, this is Derek from Mass, a.k.a. the Night Stalker, and I'm a void walker.
This is Mark from Chicago, and I walk the void to ascertain what is consciousness.
My name is Jared Johnson, and I'm from Humboldt County, California. I do not know all the answers to the questions about reality. I do not claim to know the ultimate truth about life. I seek that which has been made hidden as a part of a family of explorers of consciousness. I'm a void walker. Thanks, Joe Root.
Hi, this is Kronox from Belgium, and you're listening to Lighting the Void with Joe Roop.
Have you ever wondered, what do the stars say for me? Or, will the next month or the next year be more favorable? How about, are our two signs compatible? Each month, at the new moon, you can ask these questions live with me, your astrologer psychic, Mary Dusina, along with host of Lighting the Void, Joe Root. Join us at the new moon for Cosmic Conditions. We look forward to working with your energy.
Every new moon at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Fringe FM.
Broadcasting from Forest Tower Studios, all the way from the Deep South. Now, here is your host, Joe Root.
All right, welcome back to Lighting the Void. It's Cosmic Conditions, April the 28th, 2025. We're going to go through the signs. Remember, when you're hearing the signs, too, hopefully most of you have had a reading from Mary, or at least have had a reading from an astrologer. You know where the signs are in your chart. And so Mary is going to go through the signs, and then once that's over, we'll take your phone calls, and you can get a free reading from Mary, which is always fun.
The psychic lady. The psychic lady.
Yeah, get a free reading from the psychic lady.
Psychic lady.
And then, yeah, that's what we've been doing this so long. It's like I kind of do want to mix it up, but I have a question for some people real quick. Does everybody get the live notifications that are subscribed to this channel? We do 12 broadcasts a month, roughly 12 broadcasts a month. And so what I've been hearing lately is that some people are not getting the live notifications. If you're subscribed to this channel, when the show goes live, it should pop up and you should see a notification that says it's live. Right? Maybe you have to click a bell or something, but I'm hearing that everyone's subscribing, clicking on the bells, saying that they want to be notified and are still not getting notified.
Click the bell and the thumbs up. When you do both of those, I've noticed it shows up in my feed. Yeah,
so April says I do. El Natural says, Jan and I had the same issue earlier. Log out and then back in. That should help. Yeah, if you're getting if this is a live broadcast, so if it's spotty, it's usually a stream connection. And so YouTube, if there's a setting on there that says auto, but if you just want to hear it and make sure that you can hear everything, go to your YouTube settings and turn down the video quality as much as possible. And that way you'll get a nice audio stream. If that's all as long as you don't care about the video. Video takes up a lot of bandwidth. So if you're on Wi-Fi or you got interferences or whatever, it's going to cause problems. So
you go to the settings, and where it says whatever those numbers are, 2400. Blah,
yeah,
blah,
just go to the little gear, and then it'll have 1080p, 720p. Just put it on its lowest setting if all you care about is the audio. Because audio doesn't take that much bandwidth on the internet. It's video that does.
That's a great teaching. See, now there is a Taurus, practical, get to the point type of teaching. That's Taurus. It's just like, here's how to do it. Because you know what people put on YouTube on their phone? They're multitasking. So, yeah, there'll be a video, but most of the time I really want to hear what the guest and the host have to say more than me looking at their faces. Like I want to hear it so I can make my salad or, yeah, that makes sense. Go out on the deck, let the dog out. Perfect, Joe. That was good. So, Aries. Aries, you just had your birthday month, but all these things are zippity-doo-dying into the sign of Aries. And so although Taurus, being the sign after yours, Aries, is normally your springtime type of year in the Northern Hemisphere that, it puts the material world into focus. It brings up core issues around your worth, survival, what you've been taught to trade in exchange for something beautiful or for safety or identity. This is amplified this year, saying trust your creativity, trust your ability to say, a little less of that, I think I want more of this, and I want to experiment with this and see how this goes, because you've got Mars in Leo, a brother fire sign, favoring you, Aries. So all these things that are popping into Aries right now with Mars and Leo, it's going, yeah, baby, I'm right here. I'm ready. I'm addicted to the ride. Let's do this. Let's make this happen. So that's extremely favorable for Aries. And for the opposite sign of Aries, Libra, Mars and Leo is a sweet thing, good thing too. So there's this creative, this original, if not me, then who kind of an energy. It's unfiltered. Aries is unfiltered self-expression. And so Pluto right now in Aquarius is expressing through your 11th house of dream weaving, goals, wishes, that group of social connections that you don't have to compete with. You don't, it's just like they like what you do, just do more of it. And what do you want for that? So part of the Aries boldness right now is for us to not overinflate our worth or overinflate the deal. Again, negotiation. So Aries is basically negotiating for kind of like we do with meat, price per pound. Like how much is that chicken price per pound? How much is that? What's that steak on sale for? How much is it a pound? We do that all the time at the grocery store. Taurus is kind of like the grocery store. So what are we going shopping for? And for Aries right now, they're shopping for something that they want. They have an exuberance and they have an enthusiasm to be able to I want to do more of that. There's a lot of things I can do in my life. I've got all kinds of tool belts of possibilities and skills and haven't tried that. So Aries right now are thinking about, I don't just want to try it because I haven't tried it. I want to buy into it. I want to invest my creative fire into this because I have a different kind of vision of where this could go. I think it can bring a new light to this. The match gets struck with Aries. So think about what you would want to light the fire under, Aries, because you've got support coming from the planet of transformation, Pluto in Aquarius, the A-team I often talk about, and Mars is supporting you as well. And the Pisces energy is backing off.
All right.
So for Aries, it's like there is a full tank of gas in the car, the boat motor is started, the hot air balloon successfully flying over, for you to get the photograph of it. So there's a lot of, there's new subject matter, there's new probabilities and possibilities, and I really believe that amps up for you, especially in May, every time the moon's going through the 2.5 days of when the moon's in Leo and the 2.5 days when the moon's in Libra and Aquarius. Those are what I would call your green light days for the month of May. In any drugstore calendar, probably your phone, with smartphones, you could type in, what are the dates in May of 2025 when the moon will be in the air sign, in the fire sign. So you can do it that way if you want to, but it's not that hard to learn your 4 elements in astrology. So Aries, it's about position yourself, have the talk with yourself. Aries is I am. What am I? I am or am I? Am I willing to really put that effort into that? Do I feel drawn to it? Do I feel passion with it? Do I feel like I'm too impatient and I'll burn it out in the beginning, and maybe I need to pause for the cause and let this thing have a chance to, let the fire turn into a nice fire. So Aries are doing a kind of a process of the worthiness. Money's great, works on earth, but maybe I want to barter. Maybe I know that if they just paid me the cash for it, I'd go out and blow the cash. Maybe if I barter half of it. So Aries are negotiating in different ways. But it's also, okay, Aries, if you negotiate sometimes in full money only. Money only. So if you're always bartering and always doing that kind of reciprocity win-win deal, I would now say, right now in my life, this month, I need to pull in some cash. I need to pull in some actual currency. So my currency right now isn't barter. My currency this month is going to be actual earthly money. And the Taurus is about that kind of season. We're all deciding right now, but especially Aries, We're all deciding what we want to put more money into or what we want to finish off.
All right.
If you're a Taurus, happy birthday. I like this new moon for all of you born under Taurus or that have strong Taurian planets like significators, and Venus is strong in your chart. And if you are a Taurus, you want to pay attention to two things. The moon is happy when it's in Taurus, and Venus is happy when she's most happy when she's in Taurus or Libra. And you've got that coming up. Venus has been, at the 0 point with Neptune and Aries. But the next sign that Venus is going to go into is going to be Taurus. And so as a Taurus, with this solar new year, this solar return, it's personal. It hits your identity directly, how you're moving through the world, and if you're dealing with something that's painful, or if you're dealing with something that's ending, or you're dealing with something that you're fascinated by the fact that even though you want this beginning, it's bringing up a lot of insecurities and fears. So what about that wart? Or what about my hair? So it's like right now, Taurus is facing the very, very deep, private, personal conversations with themselves of like, if you're not 19 or you're not, you're over 50 or you're not necessarily, Taurus sometimes they look at things in the physical body or the wrinkles or how to get rid of wrinkles and the creams and the hair thickeners and all that, because Taurus and Libra, they look at the skin and they want to take care of the teeth and the skin, and cleanliness is important to them. So if you're going to date a Taurus or a Libra, when they work in the garden or the ranch, they work in the garden or the ranch. When they go and work in the restaurant, they're probably going to smell like the pizza or the salad bar. But when it comes to their personal, private relaxation time, they want to be really clean. They can slum it until the event or till that person they're going to be with. They can just kind of take it easy, and they might shower at 4 in the afternoon. But the Taurus, they want, when it comes to the physical body, they like the creams, they like the lotions, they like the witch hazel, they like learning about the things that can be beneficial to the body, even in diet and dietary habits. They'll study that a lot. So right now this new moon is lighting up your sign. Mars in Leo is hitting your 4th house. Mars and Pluto are in opposition. That's what all the astrologers are talking about in social media. So, oh my God, the big final of 3, Mars opposing Pluto. Pluto's transformative. Things die, things leave, things end. There's a new birth, there's a seed, it's happening. Because Mars in the 4th is like a new foundation in your life. So not only is it, for some people, real estate and fixing up things and selling this and investing in that when they look at the 4th house of an astrological chart. And Mars in the 4th also has a lot to do with maybe setting some boundaries with longtime family members. Like, don't disrespect me, don't tell me you're going to be there, then not call me back, and don't kick me to the curb. So Taurus right now is looking at who is the win-win, and has there been too much time and you feel a little disrespected. Mars in Leo gets us a little puffy if we don't feel like that our time or our worth or our contributions matter. And God forbid, with Mars in Leo, somebody corrects your ass at the table. I mean, or shuts you down when it's your turn to talk. Oh boy, that's going to be interesting out in public. So this is, I think, for Taurus, manifested embodiment. Like Taurus, you're being pulled out of some old roles that you've put up with, you've tolerated, you've kept your mouth shut to preserve the peace in the entirety or the big win. But what once felt safe might be somewhat stifling or suffocating. So Taurus is ready to really break up with certain habits or certain allowances, and that's going to get done by the mid-month, the mid-month full moon in your opposite sign of Scorpio. If you're Gemini, this new moon touches the sign before your birthday. So Taurus is the sign before Gemini. So Mars is hitting your realms of communication. You're going to be hearing things when Mars is going through the 3rd. You're going to be hearing about people orbiting around you that are going through some difficult mental wars. They don't know quite how to make the decision, if it's the right decision, if it's the right time for a decision. So Geminis are kind of in their head right now, and they're having a bitch at the time making a schedule work. Pluto's in your 9th house. Geminis are just wanting to continue to travel again and not be pestered by their mind. But this new moon is in your embryonic 12th house. So this is that whole, all that stuff in Pisces, challenging, squaring off to the sign of Gemini. We've still got Venus conjuncting Saturn right now in the last degrees of Pisces. So it's people born in the latter degrees of the sign of Pisces in March, and Gemini is born on the June side of Gemini, and Sagittarians born in the December part of Sagittarius, and Virgo is born in the September, not the August part. This right now is challenging as far as what's really making you not feel good, or what's making you surly verbally, or what's pestering you mentally. And that's what this Taurus, peace-bringing Venusian new moon is wanting to say to you. It's kind of like in the 23rd Psalm when it says, he leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. So this is about a type of calming baptism. If you Geminis will just find music or dance or art or something, laughter, a comedy club, get out where other people are talking or other people are singing, Gemini, and just do what it takes to comfortably and in a healthy way shut your mind down, that overthinking, because that OCD is not your friend right now, Gemini. You need to just kind of grab the bull by the horns of Taurus and say, stop just thinking negatively, or stop thinking about so many scenarios that could happen, when I just need to really enjoy this day and be in the present right now. If you're Cancer, this energy of Taurus, I won't spend a lot of time on Cancer because there's no place like home. Home is where the heart is. I know where my peaceful pasture is. And for Cancers, or Cancer risings or moons, it's like time literally to set your priority in your schedule, but you're only going to be around the people that don't piss you off and don't judge you and don't try to push you out of the way or push you some kind of way to where they're getting their way and you're somehow discarded or forgotten. So the Cancers right now, it kind of pressures your future, your vision, where you want to be in this world. Pluto's in the 8th, Mars is in the 2nd. So Cancerians, Moonchild, they've been performing and acting from a point of survival, like self-worth, tied to output and burnout. Trust buried under past betrayal. The 8th house, Pluto, works to expose loss, expose where we're needing to be in control or where we've been letting people control us, and our spirit's going, no, that's not fair, that's not fair, that's not equitable, that's not fair, they're not being fair to you. You know they're not being fair to you, because that whole Pluto in the 8th house, 8th sign is Scorpio, Pluto rules Scorpio. Cancerians have this very strong, especially lunar Cancers, they have this very strong knowing when a behavior isn't right, or it's not optimal, or it's not fair, or it's shady, or it stinks. I mean, they kind of hold themselves back, but they're just like, I knew that was, and I'm not a person that wants to judge anybody, so I need to learn that I don't have to judge somebody, but I just need to really listen to my intuitive intelligence, my emotional intelligence, and my intuitive savvy.
If you're a Cancer moon, you need to act upon it to protect yourself.
Absolutely.
I
always shield up, always energetically protect your heart, protect your, bless your intimate life, bless the integrity of those that you choose to have as tribal brothers and sisters. You bless them. You give thanks for those people in your life that may not all be your lovers at all, but that they love you and they love what you do. And everybody's going to have their ups and downs, but they're not ever going to want to stab you.
Right.
They may correct you.
Important you keep those people around that don't do that to you. Yeah,
that's right. So Cancers, the old energy leaks, the old roles, the loyalty patterns, the cost, Taurus, investments, costs. Do I sell it? Do I keep it? The cost of being available to people or systems that don't replenish you. Yeah, that's what this is having a comeuppance with. This is what spring, the new sunrise, the new plants that are blooming are like. Time for a change in your life garden. New crops. If you're Leo, big damn deal. New moon, big damn deal. Because, like big damn deal. Sock it, lady, say. Because Mars is in Leo, and Leo, you have got to curb your impatience. You have got to keep a handle on your temper, because if there's any kind of dark forces wanting to steal or poke or drain your light, they know they can do it. If they can trigger you or get you over the edge. And I'm telling you, Leo, you are a natural guardian for those you care about. You're okay in the warrior hero role. Anyway, Mars rules Aries. There's a bunch of stuff in Aries, and Mars is happy in Leo, and it will fire up the Aries. I mean, it's literally like some of those comedy little fast reels you'll see on Instagram or these TikTok channels where it goes, I said, step outside. Or literally in the old black and I love that one with the cat. I love the one with the cats where it said, you said, come outside. You said, I could beat up your, and the two cats are like at the window. And I said, and the cat keeps coming back. I said, come outside. Come outside.
Does Mars and Leo that's opposing Pluto, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Mars is in Leo, and the opposite sign to Leo is Aquarius. The opposite sign to Aquarius is Leo. So those two signs, out of all of them, Leo and Aquarius, need to understand that people could be trying to, as we say in the South, get your goat, get you going, get you all fired up, and you're not thinking. As I say, you're not thinking straight. You're not thinking straight. So it's like understand that you've got to right now, if you're Leo or Aquarius, be very aware of what fires you up, what's starting to get you angry. Are you too tired? Are you doing too much? Are you at war with yourself? I believe this new moon isn't here to punish you. It's here to show you why are you letting that get to you so much? What's behind that? What's behind that? Don't give that person that's wanting to poke at you or aggravate you or steal your man or steal your woman, make you cast that insecurity upon you, because only you, Leo, only you, Aquarius, will decide if you're going to believe their truth or their words versus what you know inside yourself. So it's a kind of a cat and mouse game right now for Leo, and
you can get
Mars
touchy.
is in your first house. Yeah, they're touchy, they're edgy, they're sharp.
It's
edgy.
crazy
So
you
Pluto,
say that too, because it's rolling around in the 8th house, like opposing Pluto. So it would be like, I bet if somebody in this time did like poke at you about your partner or try to, you'd probably lose it right now if you're not careful.
But that's where metaphysics pays off. That's where prayer. That's where trusting God. That's where Buddhic meditation, the 8 precepts, the indigenous fire circles. That's where we are always. It's a daily feast to work on our own assets and to conquer our own weaknesses. So gotcha. Mars in Leo right now is saying, what gets in the way of the already fully present, fully powerful warrior that you are? Where's your Achilles heel? Where's Superman's kryptonite, that green thing, stone he could never be around? What is it, that could be, that doesn't let Spider-Man's web fly out? What is it that Batman, Batman had a battle with who? The Joker. So this is kind of like, if you could put it in superhero type of terms, and in the Bible, David and Goliath, so you've got, anytime the Christians were thrown in the lion's den and they survived. So Mars is in Leo right now. So I'm telling all signs, it's not a good idea to deliberately hurl sarcasm or rudeness or caustic words at people. It's not going to go well for you. As we say in the South, them's fighting words. You want to pump your brakes and back that up? So it's like, what'd you say? So it's like people are going to put you in check, and some people that don't give a damn about metaphysics or don't think about spirituality could go literally cray-cray, bombastic, volcanic on you. Leo's fire. It's the volcano that'll blow up. It's a rocket launch. Aries is the ignition. So Mars wants to act. Pluto wants to control. Put yourself in check, Leo. Be all that you can be. Go ahead and shine bright like a diamond, but you don't need to brag about it. You don't need to push people to do what they want to do or tell them when they ought to do it, Leo. Back it down, pump your brakes, and take no prisoners. If you're Virgo,
take no prisoners.
Taurus is, take no prisoners. Screw that. Take no prisoners. Get out of my way. Get out of my way or become a casualty. I mean, it's just like people look at you like, I think that woman meant that. Yeah, I do. I'm going to keep walking, which is good for you. So Virgo is favored by this Taurian energy. It helps, and it's hitting and it's helping Virgo. And I'm just going to make one statement about Virgo. It's hitting your beliefs in a way that's collapsing the vision that you once held, because we've got Pluto, you've got the new moon in the 9th, you've got Pluto in the 6th. This is a work in progress, but you got Mars over in your house of the prison, the dream, the way out. What got you into prison in your mind and how you can get out of it. So Mars is burning quietly in Leo, the sign before your sign in the 12th house. This is psychic tension of the unprocessed and the unfaced. I'm going to say that again. This is psychological and psychic pressure and tension of the unprocessed and the unfaced. It's building your strengths in the background and it's trying to leak healing into your body. So expect your sleep patterns to be off, like you feel exhausted, yet you don't simultaneously know why you're not sleeping. Your focus and your capacity to show up is strained right now. So it's almost like when people complain about spring allergies and pollens and things like that, yeah, that shit gets in our mind too. Yeah, we get psychic infections too, and we have psychic pollen and psychological allergies. Trust me, I know. So if you're Libra, again, a rather easy new moon for you. Not going to spend a lot of time on your sign because Venus rules Taurus and Libra. The new moon's lighting up your love life and your sassy pants, your fancy pants. Oh, look at those fancy pants, and look at her butt and those fancy pants. So it's kind of like a flirty, playful. Pluto's in your 5th house going, yeah, why not? I want to go out and play. And Mars is in your 11th. Yeah, there's no limit. Sky's, not even the sky is the limit. So bat your eyes, have a good time, and stop telling people that they need to call you when you want them to call you. Because this is a little bit of this lunation is a rupture, because in the skies, Taurus, which has everything to do with what we hope to have in touch and love and stability, Mars is still warring with these Taurus planets and opposing Pluto. So it's a detox for you, Libra, and it's bringing pressure on your personal self. It's joy and it's sexual energy. What once felt alive now feels a bit dulled. The edges are need to be sharpened. If you're expecting something from someone to make you happy, or their performance level is being focused on too much. So it's about cutting ties and calling out the emotional debt where you, Libra, overinvested in some kind of drama dynamics that were rooted originally in a realm or a cesspool or quicksand of rejection.
They weren't balanced whatsoever, and you know.
Yep. Scorpio, powerful for your sign, Scorpio. This is the new moon is lighting up the house of we. What are we? Where are we at? What are we doing? Are we together on this? Are we divided on this? So Scorpio right now pulls your focus psychically to the key relationships in your life, our SOs, our significant others. And it's the psychological infrastructure of that, because Pluto's in the 4th for Scorpio. So it's like, how solid of footing do you have in this friendship, this business thing? Are they doing what they say that they would do it on time? So Mars is in your 10th. So Mars is the pressure. So there's a bit of pressure to perform. And it could bleed into your public life, like it's that old thing, all work and no play made Jack a dull boy type of a thing. So your instinct, Scorpio, is to say competent and in charge, and that could be clashing with the reality that something inside you is no longer wanting to hold on to. So Pluto breaks apart things. It's transformative. It's the Tower part in the tarot, so it breaks apart all that you thought was predictable or just isn't cutting it anymore. And is it actually built on a solid, reliable type of thing? So, yeah, family dynamics, Scorpio, emotional conditioning, inherited roles are now being reactivated, not to punish you, but in order to finally say, yeah, that was me then, and that's not me going forward. Sagittarius, oh, yeah, Mars is in your 9th house in Leo. Sagittarius is our 3rd fire sign brother, so it's favorable for them. The new moon's in the 6th house, though, so Sagittarius, if the Mars in Leo is going to make you get fired up, it's going to be about traffic, travel, co-workers, time delays. You'll be in a good mood when you make good time. You'll be all pissy if you're not careful. If somebody delayed your delivery and you're a UPS driver or FedEx, like, damn it, my lunch is late. So when the sun and planets are in Taurus, we don't like people to interfere with whenever our dinner or our lunchtime is. The bull gets pissed if you take away his hay once you put it in there, or he's been looking at that grass for a long time, and you dare to come into the pasture and interfere with when he wants to go eat that hay at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, I wouldn't. You don't mess with it. Don't ask Taurus to share their food. If they offer it, great, if that's what you're into. But yeah, don't stick your fork over on their plate or your spoon in their dessert. Don't do it. So Sagittarius, Pluto's in your 3rd. Mars is in your 9th. You have a desire to break out, change your scenery, chase something bigger, find a new exciting belief to pour yourself into and see if it's a comfortable fit. But there's a difference, Sag, between expansion and avoidance. And the line in the sand is getting much clearer. Mars in Leo favors you. Pluto in Aquarius kisses up to you. But there's still some things that you can only keep driving faster and harder and further away for so long. Capricorn, again, your Earth. Capricorn is favored by this Taurus energy. It's a great time. This next week, it's a great time, especially on Thursday, Friday, of next week, once we go into early May. And again, actually, Capricorn at the full moon in Scorpio at mid-month, at 11, 12, 13th, that full moon in Scorpio. There's creativity, there's expression, but how much space, Capricorn, are you giving yourself to feel, to want, to exist without earning it first? Capricorn puts work first. So Mars in your 8th house is boiling everything under the surface, any grief, anger, desire, who you're missing, the emotional risk that come up to have self-talk with you, the places you've hidden. Where did you hide your truth or your desires to stay safe? They're now becoming too loud to ignore, Capricorn. You're going to have to face them. If you're an Aquarius, this new moon is in your 4th house, family, home, kids, elders, uncles, and the people in your life that are like an easy hug, and the ones that you're like, get away from me. So Aquarius have a lot of family dynamics going on. Doesn't matter, older, younger, stepkids, step-parents, extended family, blah, 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 his family, her family. Mars is in your 7th. Mars is opposite your sign, Aquarius, in the 7th house of significant others. They're going to blame you if you don't keep neutral. So don't take sides right now. You can if your psyche tells you to do that, but I would be very diplomatic. I would be willing to negotiate, and I would say, you know what, I guess you needed to vent, but I really think that that's your position to speak to him or her. I mean, I get where you're coming from. I feel like that I validate you, that you need to speak up and go deal with it instead of them trying. We call it in psychology triangulation. When somebody tries to suck you in between two other things, them and the other thing, and get you in the middle of that hot mess. Yeah, don't do that, Aquarius. So there's pressure from every direction at times. Your moon wants safety. This new moon wants safety, but Mars wants reaction because it's opposing you. And finally, Pisces, lots of stuff getting ready to leave your sign that's been pestering you for quite a while. Neptune has entered Aries. It's retrogrades a little bit. Saturn's right there at the final degrees. Venus is right there joining Saturn right now at this new moon in the final degrees of Pisces. And it's like, wake up. You've been in the dream too long. Or you've been in the dream long enough. Now it's time to make the decision, take the action. So the new moon happens in your 3rd house. You're wanting to talk about it. You're wanting to say what your decision is. You're wanting to announce whether you're an innie or an outie on other things that people have pulled you into their entangled webs. The mental loops that you've been dependent on to feel safe are no longer working. It's like bing, 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 psychic cords are being cut and emotional knots are getting undone. So you're standing there with the wind in your hair in your sacred robe going, that's not me. I'm not going to play the role and put on the mask anymore. So it's showing that what once held your sense of self together is now dissolving. And so your body is registering the truth, Pisces, before your mind can catch up. So it doesn't need an explanation. Just stop trying to hold things in, Pisces. Stop. That's what gives you your tummy digest and your nervousness and things feeling like they get out of alignment. It's because you're constantly carrying this around like Saturn rings where your head is, and you're like wanting to process, and you function, you multitask beautifully, but when you're driving to work or you're going home or you're going to be with your lover or you're going to talk to your kid, there's a part of you that's just like, okay, how can I micromanage this and get everybody at peace and do all of this, and then, oh, what about me? When's my turn? So Pisces are coming into, it's their turn. It's their time.
All right. Love it. Feels good.
But it's,
how you feeling about it?
Yeah, it's earthy. I like this moon. I do too. It's earthy. I love right now that all of us can stop depending on just an outside voice, because our own psychic intuitive antennas are neutral enough that, you know, our higher self, our guardian angels, spirit, great spirit creator knows what our heart wants. Taurus gives us the ability to blend the spiritual, as above, so below, the heaven to earth. It's earth time. This is the earth time. So the more that you cut the yard and look at the sunset and plant the flowers and buy yourself a new hanging basket of flowers if you want. Go get the chicken some treats if you want to. Go get the dog a fun little collagen bone to chew on. The more that you tithe something to another earthly creature, doesn't just have to be human. You know, I went and bought a 50-pound bag of black oil sunflower seed. I got turkeys. I got deer. I mean, I like it. I like them. I like seeing those neighbors come out of the woods. There's a great heron. There's fish jumping out there now, and I've got bluebirds that just birthed the babies made it out of the eggshells. And, of course, Mama Nature Mary's out there making sure nothing gets to those little baby birds. But all kinds of food all away from that birdhouse so they won't get up there and get on that birdhouse. I mean, I got skunks and possums, and it's like, la, 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 la. There's every animal that comes out for the nocturnal buffet. And thank you for your tithes and donations to both Joe in this format and those of you that I love strays and animals like I do, and I pull out of my own pocket.
Speaking of which, thanks for the $19.99, Monica, before I forget. Appreciate that super chat. Thank you.
Thank you for your support. I mean, Joe and I have been committed to the ride 5.5, 6 years. I mean, we show up, we do it, we care. We care. You care when you keep showing up, whether all the money is there or not. And I personally love, as a long-term psychic, as a long-term astrologer, I like it when people like Jeff Harmon and Robert Phoenix and myself and other people come out there and write these social media posts. Mine's Cosmic Conditions on Facebook and on Instagram. And I like when astrologers of all different prices give a damn to actually come on and do people's shows and type things out on Instagram and TikTok and all that. People that have been doing this stuff for over 10 years because they could get paid for all of that. And there's so much information out there right now. So to the Theodore Whites and these astrological groups, we don't need to be divided at all. We just need to realize that we are agents that love to explain the star language to people and help it be congruent. And our main job is to allow it as celestial mechanics to be another way that people can enjoy and safely learn about their strengths or their weaknesses. And it's not cast in stone that those weaknesses, because of your chart or your signs, are going to be there forever. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not. But we got to see them first, and we got to see where's our sign strong. And Taurus is the time of the year, and Taurus people, and they have, like Joe said, they have all kinds of other components in their chart. But when Taurus, that's why I like to do the seasons. When Taurus celestial season is here, wherever it is in someone's chart, it's about slow down, smell the roses. They're literally blooming right now where I live. Smell the roses. Decide what you want to plant. What herbs are you going to enjoy putting in your salads and cooking with this year? Go buy them now. It's prevalent everywhere. It's not going to be so available. It'll be all dried up by summer. So this is the time to either buy the little $3 plants or the start cuttings, the startings. This is the time to do that. This is the time to do that because I grow my lavender and my rosemary and my dill because I cook with it. I've got that Italian side to me where I'm going to grow I've got my oregano coming back again. It's like,
you should have already planted some stuff, honestly. I mean,
oh, absolutely. Well, here they tell you not to do it because we have those 5 winters of Tennessee, and it's like, good grief.
I love spring too because on here, like every third house, we all have gardens out here. Isn't it crazy? Like when you get on YouTube and you see they make these big deals about like permaculture and all this stuff. And it's like, man, that's just country living,
Country people have been doing it for a long time. And I do want to say this before we take anybody's calls. It's the most important thing is, are we as Earth citizens? We're all Earth citizens. You may not like ticks or flies. I get it, or copperheads, but we're all citizens on Mother Earth and basking or being hurt by her medicine and her ways. So I would just like to ask everybody to give back. Most ancient indigenous cultures, if you take a tomato, if you pick an apple, if you pick a flower, you give back to Mother Earth. To this day, if I travel anywhere, I take a stone from where I live. I did it in Florida. I would take a shell. I take something from the location, the vortex, the portal that I'm residing at, and I take it to that place and give it to the ground and say, thank you. And I'll pick up, just a little pebble or something that's from that sand or that shell, or just something that's out there available and no breaking any laws or anything. And that's that's the most important thing I bring back from any kind of place that I go to.
501-777-5631 if you want to call in. Now's the time to do it because we don't have much time to take calls. So jump on it.
Get on the line psychically. Let's pick you a card, Joe, while they're calling.
I'm jealous of Taurus energy, man. I have Chiron and Taurus in the 8th,
That's a key. Chiron, the best way to look at, the simplest way to learn your sign, it's the key. I have a key. I have a key of healing in Taurus. But you're not at war with Taurus. It's the key that unlocks your entanglements. Taurus stuff unlocks you when you get all wrapped up. So if you get a donation or you get extra money or somebody tips you, That's their Chiron and Taurus blessing you. The key. It's like, here's the key. Here's 1999. Here's this or that. So you got the boat, and it's interesting that we have these late degree Pisces thing happening over oceans and boats and the waters of things, the feelings and the energy set into emotion. Energy set into motion. That's emotions. The emotions, the energy of what motion you want to take or release. So you've got a boat here, money or property through an inheritance, a gift, winning, or a windfall. Lord God, go get a scratch and sniff ticket. Damn, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm ready for a windfall. Let's do it right now.
Let's do it.
I'll go get I'll go get a ticket right after the show. Damn it.
I want you to. Yeah, I'm going to get one tomorrow. That's it. It's time to put the Taurus timestamp on it and just the old Nike commercial. Just do it. Just do it. Neil L'Oreal haircut.
That's cool.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, did you 775? You're on the air with Mary. Who are we speaking with?
Siri.
Who? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Siri.
Oh,
Siri.
yeah. I remember. Yeah. You.
And how are you doing? How are you doing in our first earthy season of 2025?
Well, I'm old, and so many things going on, and I'm surrounded by demons, and the house is caving in, and I had dreams about a big sinkhole opening up and consuming it all in the middle of the kitchen floor, and a lot of the stuff's actually happening. So I'm having to really work hard to protect myself, and it just feels like it's not enough. And I'm probably going to have to put my dog down.
Oh, man.
God bless your dog. God bless your dog. Start blessing her and thanking her. It's amazing how they just,
she's been my guardian angel.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Goes and I'm going to fly. I got to get out of here. So I was hoping I could get a card or something to. I'm fixing to chomping at the bit and fixing to make some changes and run and get rid of stuff and sell out and divorce and.
Okay, pause. This Taurus, you got to pause and breathe.
So,
just pause. Feel your stomach. No. Put your hand on your little belly where your belly button is. Just pause.
Really
just
not
pause.
good.
Gotcha. All right.
Did she hear me?
Hold on. Let me make sure. I don't know if she can't hear you. It doesn't sound like it because she keeps talking when you're talking. So I don't think. I might have to. Here, just do.
I'm right here.
Yeah, she should be able to hear you now. Go for it.
Okay. So the card that I've got feedback.
I know you do. Sorry, I can't help it.
Okay, the
right
card
now.
you got is Butterfly, and it's a change for the better. You have emerged from these old cocoons. Your 18-year-old beloved animal, earth angel companion, is ready to slip her skin, hopefully in absolutely majestic, peaceful ways, because she knows she's going to fly. Her spirit will still be with you, and you're ready to fly. I'd like to just suggest, as a metaphysical teacher, that although you've seen the reality and the validity of feeling like there's dark forces or demonic energies around you, do not use present tense words with that. I have experienced and I recognize demonic energies or dark energies have been poking at me. I now rebuke them. It is behind me. I cast it behind me. But the butterfly is, in a lot of native cultures, the butterfly has everything to do with being able to lift above the sinkhole that you had, to lift above anything that's trying to hold you in place, hold you back, bring you down. And the butterfly card in most of the Native American animal circles that I've attended and studied with, Native indigenous cultures have a legend about butterfly, is that if we capture a butterfly gently and whisper a wish to her, butterfly carries it to the Great Spirit. By setting the butterfly free, you've shown respect for the balance of nature, and the wish will surely be granted. You can also do that visually in a meditation, in a prayer, or just when you see a butterfly coming to fly by you, you can whisper the wish right to the butterfly. I don't tend to catch them, but if they land near me or whatever, I'll lean over and go to them and do that earth to earth because it's a flying creature. So the butterfly is releasing you from the ties that have bound you or where you have allowed yourself in order to accomplish or to people please or to successfully finish something. You first inside yourself, I would psychically suggest, I want you to start just getting the feeling of how different and how good it now feels that you're free of these things that have been holding you back and holding you down. And I feel the dream of the sinkhole was all that crap and all that intensity and all that, oh my God, is it ever going to end, is going down into the sinkhole.
Yeah,
it's going down
pretty profound
underneath
symbol.
you. Yeah, and you're going away. The earth is opening and making all that stuff sink down below you because your foundation is firm and you're walking away from it.
Oh my God, thank you. And it's literally happening. I mean, the water line is broke and it's just spewing and it's thousands of gallons and it's up under the bathroom floor and that's all going to cave in and I have to try to get social services or something to fix it, or otherwise I'm going to have to get the city to shut the water off because it's just consuming the bathroom. It's crazy
Holy Spirit,
that it just
Holy Spirit, Creator, thank you. Holy Spirit, Creator, thank you for the right people to be the advocacy. Thank you for the right people in the local municipalities. Thank you for our ability to be able to have this resolution in God's own perfect ways with all of the earth angels and all of the earthen and heavenly energy sources coming to this damsel in distress's need. And we create as an audience, as a tribe, a blessing way for her, and the tremor and the angst in her voice is now released. We cast light into where there has been this trembling and this what next and this fear and this overflow of the water element and the earth and the things that are trying to break down. She gets the message that she's going to go from there. Thank you for the message. There's history to this house and this land. She's willing to go. Thank you for making her exit status peaceful and fulfilled. Aho. Amen.
Amen. You going to call us back? Make sure you call us back.
Try to keep making sure that I get the the message or the notification.
It'll be on the new moon, and I'll post it everywhere on the social media to the day of. But it's so anytime there's a new moon, we usually make the show either the day before. It's never on the weekends, so it'll either be a Friday or a Monday or whatever day is closest to it that we can do on a weekday. That's usually when we do it.
Okay, cool.
So for example, this oh, you're welcome. For example, this one was on a Sunday, and so Joe and I agreed, and so the next to do it Monday night on the day of the moon. So the next one that comes up, you can start to calculate now, is going to be toward the end of May. Like the next one is actually on Monday, the 26th, Memorial Day. And if Joe's got that free, we always try to clear our schedules to make it happen, regardless of what's going on in our personal lives, because we want that stability and that consistency for the audience. But I mean, Joe and I have both come on this and done this show when we've been sick or losing our voice or whatever. Like, yeah, we really work hard to keep it, like he said, as close to the new moon as possible, because that's the energy release of the sun and the moon marrying, the ego and the purpose aligned in a particular sign together, holding hands and having a merry meet to be able to release that energy. So just focus on Taurus is the material world solutions and resolutions, but it also, the minus side of Taurus energy for all of us, where we have it in our chart, is our fear of change. We've gotten so used to even the crappy things or the broken down things or the unattainable things that we get stuck in that pattern. So you've got Taurus is also about, I'm done with that pressure. I open up my hand, God. Thank you. I reach out for the prosperity. I reach out and I allow the helping hands and the solution.
Help is coming for you.
Don't get too caught up in that emotional tie,
You hang in there.
Yeah. Okay, I'm getting ready to buy the paperwork too, and divorce the piece of poop and get some big split.
A whole new life.
There you go.
A whole new life. Butterfly. Thank the butterfly. Keep your faith, girl. Keep your faith. Chin up.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for your call. Make sure you call us back too. Okay, that's a big deal.
Yeah, as you emerge from all this, let us. Yeah, we're all going to be praying. We're all. You don't have to hear us from us every day or every week to do it. We're all going to join you in your ability to be the butterfly and escape this collapsing cocoon in safety and with prosperity and with helping hands. So be it.
Isn't that crazy how like whatever's going on inside of you just tends to manifest in the world that way? You know, like,
yes, sir.
That poor woman makes her wish, like, I wish I could be there to fix her sink or something, or fix something like that's.
Well, we're going to call in the spirit warriors to do that. So, you know, it's like
you
Christ or
that,
Buddha
yeah.
wasn't. Right, exactly. We gave life to it tonight. So rather than us feeling bad for her, what we're doing now is it's that Mars and Leo. We're like the lions have come to help her, the lions of men, the advocacy of the women, the people in those kind of municipalities and city things that will say, oh, my goodness, of course there's advocacy. Yes, if you're over 50, yes, we have resources. But she, Taurus, is going to have to do the work of, although it seems to be distracting her because there's so much intensity of what's not going right with her, she's got to reach out and she's got to allow someone to know what's going on, not dump expectations on them, to pause and say, now God's been involved. Now your angels have been invoked. Now you've got other people praying for you. Just say what's going on and get the person to come help you. There's ombudsmen and there's people that get into these special interest type of things, and they get to feel good by being the angel agent of change.
I got a feeling she's going to call back in like 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Next moon, it'll be like, you won't believe what happened. As soon as
I'm absolutely. This is happening to us. We're hearing about this on the new moon in Taurus. So I'm committed all the way to the next new moon of Monday, May 26th, to work on this and to let this be our Lighting the Void, the Fringe FM dedication. How we're all tithing our energy, and we can freely give our energy for this to be an energetic project and a portal to open to where this is all resolved, and everybody out there gets to hear the story of like, let me tell you how this happened. It was amazing. Yep.
Yeah. Well, buy a lottery ticket too, just in case. This is one of those
$2
definitely times like
it.
when you get in that position where you're like, okay, I know what's going on, right? Like you said, I got the message, I'm letting this go. It's okay, man, if you come from the depths of your emotions. Like, it doesn't matter what you call it, how you call God, whatever. Just go out and just be like, I'm putting all of this in your hands. I have to. Like, I need the help. You know, I have faith in you.
Yeah, and it's also okay for somebody to say, do you know anybody that could help me with this? Do you happen to know a plumber? Do you happen to know? Yeah. Do you know somebody who would be the best person to help me with this? I'm simply just going to be flat, slap honest about this. I can do this. I can't do that. I'm kind of overwhelmed with it right now. So it's like with this full moon, back to our bull or our cow in the pasture. But the bull's got the long horns to protect the calf and his cows, his bulls and cows, all the creatures out there. So in my head, it's like, what does a bull, a new moon, desire, drive, power, and transformation have in common? This new moon. This is not a sleep on it, sleepy new moon. This one's packing grit, gumption, moxie. So it's because of that T-square going on with Pluto and Aquarius and Mars and Leo and the Taurus planets. And then we got Venus, which rules this Taurus sign, joining up with Saturn. Well, Saturn doesn't play around. Saturn's like, just tell me what the problem is so I can fix it. I'll get the right people there. Don't give me the whole history of it. Get to the point, black and white, bottom line. Venus is like, I'll get you the people. Just tell the head boss here what's going on. Yeah. And so we might have to dig in our heels and lock horns with battling with ourselves and our insecurities or our lack of faith, oh ye of little faith, that doesn't believe somebody from out of the blue could come and help us, because there has been so many losses or so many difficulties. Everybody can hit a point of overwhelm. But we grumble for change. We do that more than we know. We bitch and we criticize and we moan and we wail. We grumble for change, and this is the swift astrological kick in the ass. It's like Taurus is like, you ask, here's the platter, serve it up. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Do you want some ghost pepper with that? Do you want some vanilla on top of your dessert? You want whipped cream or not? Yeah.
one thing at a time, man. Look at just write everything down and say, well, this is what I can do. Like, weigh all your options out, one
step
thing
by
at
step.
a time.
It's those old movies. Slowly I turned.
Momentum is the key.
Step.
Like, it's always that first step, right? Because everything seems so damn overwhelming. Like what she's going through physical battles, emotional battles, change, like all kinds of stuff that's happening. It seems like it's falling apart. But she just got through saying, I love you guys. I did finally get my pickup fixed. Keep that momentum going. Find another little step, just another, and then it'll start
just out of my
up.
little southern world. If you want to have a real short affirmation, Matthew 9:29, because of your faith, it will happen.
That's right. That's right, actually. Yeah, that's right.
Simple words, but look at the power that can come because of your faith. So that's my responsibility. Because of your faith, it will happen. Matthew 9:29. Love you all. Love you all. And believe me, the powers of grace and glory are real. They're real. Call them. Invite
final
them.
message of the night, Mary, for the
I feel like it's got to do with the fire of faith. And I feel like that I have to remind you that although we shower and we take baths and, we're taught in different cultures to plunge ourselves in the river and cleanse ourselves, and whether we're swimming in the ocean or canoeing on the lake, water has its own element. And so like our caller tonight, she was having a fierce battle with pipes and water flowing, the overflow of emotions in water. It's like it can be a flood. It can be too intense. Well, Taurus is the earth that says we'll fix the pipe, we'll replace the pipe, get away from the water, get out into nature, find a way to ground yourself. And when we fix those problems, like the leaking pipe or the busted water heater or whatever it is, don't put that out of your mind so quickly of how good it felt to get it fixed. Taurus is about here's the fix, here's the repair. And so whatever we need to fix or work on, earth signs are working signs. Let's just get to work, shut up talking about it, and get to work and put your boots on the ground and just make it happen. Taurus, this new moon is make it happen because it can. All the stars are aligned and it's in place to do it.
Yeah. There you go, folks. There you go. We'll be back the next new moon too. If you need to contact me, even you, Siri, you can contact me too. You can email the show at lightingthevoid@gmail.com. We'll do what we can to help you too, okay? And so just make sure you email the show. Also get a reading from Mary. If you hadn't got a reading from Mary, I know there's somebody right now thinking maybe I should. You should. Just do it. Like, I don't think that people understand how important, like, Lighting the Void is all about conscious exploration, but authenticity. There were several people, when I met Mary a long time ago, trying to get on the show, claiming to be psychics. I talked to all of them, and I knew Mary was the real deal, the closest thing to what we call psychism and deep intuition, and she's helped lots of people. And if you're that next person that really wants to be in that group, you should get a reading from Mary. And that's all there is to it. Mary, I love you.
Love you too, Joe. Thank you, tribe. I love you guys. Keep the faith, because by your faith, that's what's going to work to make the equation come out an addition, not a subtraction.
Right on. See you guys tomorrow night. Night, sweet dreams.
Even if you don't understand, well, it's all understood. Especially when you don't understand, then it's all just because. Even if we don't understand, then let's all just believe. Everyone knows what went down, because the news was spread all over town. And fact is only what you believe, and fact and fiction work as a team. It's almost always fiction. In the end, the content begins to bend when context is never the same, and it's all relative.